Hello friends, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley Book Summary. The Surprising Secrets of America's Wealthy was once published in 1996 and collects research through authors Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko that profiles millionaires in the United States, that is, households in the country that have an internet really worth of extra than $1 million. For comparison, the authors look at two businesses and the behavior of each. UAWs are under accumulators of wealth, while PAWs are prodigious accumulators of wealth. Their statistics suggests that millionaires are disproportionately located in middle-class and blue-collar areas, as an alternative than in the greater affluent and white-collar neighborhoods. A conclusion drawn with the aid of the authors from this sudden finding is that higher profits families are greater possibly to use earnings for luxury gadgets and fame symbols, which diverts cash from financial savings and investments. The book is introduced in 8 chapters, which include, Meet the Millionaire Next Door, You Aren't What You Drive, Economic Outpatient Care, and Jobs, Millionaire versus Heirs. One of the key points made by way of the authors is that in order to increase one's net worth it is necessary now not to spend extra than is earned. Coupled with this is the want to avoid purchasing items that symbolize an excessive fashion of dwelling, such as popularity symbols. Purchasing branded purchaser items turns into a cycle that leads to a dependence on belongings that will constantly depreciate. Even in situations where such items are obtained at true prices, the desire to exchange them regularly to preserve the identical popularity as one's neighbors continues the cycle. Luxury purchases, the authors add, are greater tied to inflation and earnings tax, which adds to the poor effect on net worth. The authors discovered that PAWs do now not necessarily hoard their money, but rather they are inclined to invest their money if the investments, even if truly risky, are worth the manageable reward. They do no longer gamble or make investments in shares with lengthy odds, but will use the stock market, personal businesses, and consider project capital opportunities. There is a generational issue that influences the formation of the exceptional wealth acquiring groups. The children of UAWs need parental cash to help the lifestyle they wish and are less in all likelihood to have realized about budgeting and investing cash than their PAW counterparts. UAWs tend to observe an attitude that includes spending tomorrow's cash today. This habit leads to debt and as a result an absence of net worth. PAWs, in contrast, accept as true within saving money for tomorrow. UAWs tend to put off investing till they reach some randomly selected profits level, but when they reach that point, the investments do now not really take place. They often fail to make investments when they had promised themselves they would, because by using the time their profits increases, so does their wish to hold up with the existence of their neighbors and relatives. In addition, there is a desire amongst UAWs who had been raised in a low-profits household to show that they are better off than their parents, which regularly involves a higher house, a fancier car, and different luxuries. UAWs view money as an easily renewable resource, and they grow to be customers alternatively than investors. Also considered by the authors are the automobile shopping for habits of the two groups. UAWs have a tendency to force a cutting-edge model automobile that is purchased new and which is often bought on credit. PAWs do no longer generally buy new cars and do not have a tendency to own luxury or overseas models. The popularity connected to owning a luxurious vehicle prices UAWs thousands of greater dollars. Career selections and training level are different factors that the authors consider. While they recognize that UAWs exist in all fields and instructional backgrounds, there are professions that have high concentrations of UAWs. These include lawyers, doctors, and dentists. The place contributors of the profession are twice as probably to be UAWs than PAWs. 2 primary reasons are cited for this. First, because of the superior stages required in these fields, they begin collecting wealth at a later stage. The second issue is the lifestyle that society expects for such gurus and which they experience obligated to maintain. There is an indirect correlation between the earnings one earns and the internet wealth that a man or woman accumulates. Professionals like medical doctors have high earnings tiers, and it is in all likelihood that they will have a rather low internet worth. Low profits earners are extra likely to accumulate more in relation to their income. Income, according to the authors, is no longer a correct indication of economic well-being. Wealth, though, is a top indicator of the monetary independence of individuals. The problem is that society has myriad methods to eat income, but now not almost as many approaches to shop income. This makes it lots less difficult for human beings to spend than to save. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, comments and press the bell icon for future updates.